Today I'm going to talk about why or how I develop my character and how you can develop yours, how I came to the title The World's Genius now, and a lot of other things. So let's take a look on the other side of our Goodness is Strength preparation. So a lot of people would think that, well, when I take on a title or with love, the world's genius or something like that, it's my ego talking. And it's for benefit for you. It's for benefit for the world. It's not. And a key concept in what I'm getting at is the notion of every action has an equal and opposite reaction. I faced such extraordinary challenges that it just pushed me further and further to a point of the world's genius and all this kind of thing. And I want to start with a little bit of my story. Having grown up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, originally been in Boston a long time, we'll get to that. Having grown up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, I had 2 grandmothers, 4 immigrant grandparents, 2 grandmothers who lived over 100 each. Immigrant grandfathers became a doctor and a lawyer. Really scratching their way to that. And then my parents, Maury and Sandra, who did a terrific job in our raising and all this kind of thing in Scranton. And what I'm getting at is when I mention my grandmothers, the reason I'm doing that is that they, chicken soup, barley soup, they indoctrinated me with values, the values we need. And this is what I'm getting at. You can't really go anywhere. There's too many enemies and adverse energies in the world these days not to know who you are and develop your character. And so what you have to do, character is anchored in values, okay? You have to know what your values are. So many people these days are running to, the latest trend, Instagram, whatever it be. And the point being, you have to, the really strong people are going to develop their character. And developing character in this day and age is an inch by inch, centimeter by centimeter process, because there's so many slings and arrows coming at you. And that's why with our coaching and training, what I'm getting at in mediation, what I'm getting at is that, I'm teaching people how you have to develop your character to really be successful. It's like putting out a lot of the noise and not just, being in safe or kind of cool places where you put people down and this, but how, because those things are going to come and go. And things that seem like fun these days, I don't know everything, but I know there will be obstacles. If you're worth your salt at all, good people get challenges in their life and they have to work to overcome them. And so, these like little safe havens and this kind of thing, they're going to come and go. And what's going to be left is you. And that's why I want people to look at our societal champion training. That's why I want people to develop your character. And that's what our work's about. So you could go to our website and take a look there. And so, with me, what happened is that, I mentioned my background and having values deeply within me. And then, I've just faced an incredible storm. I'm not going to go into great detail, I don't believe. But I think that, the magnitude of the opposition I faced, I think it's record-setting in some ways. It's just because it went on for decades. And just like people who, there's a lot of discussion on YouTube these days about chosen ones. And, people who are kind of pulled to a higher purpose. And maybe you're one of those. And maybe I can help, I can guide you in life, in chess, in sports, in politics, in society, with art, whatever it be, you can reach a higher level by finding your purpose and through the process developing your character. Okay, because that's what you need. This is what you need to be successful. So in my situation, I just faced such extraordinary opposition, irrational opposition, that because I had some of those seeds and roots from my ancestors, but I really had to, in fairness to myself, I had to develop those characteristics on my own. I had to okay, you can think of kindness, you can think of love, but when you're getting crashed from all directions, you've got to learn to develop those and grow those, that goodness to strength acorn, from an acorn into a great oak. And that's what I've done in my life. And so, the opposition, and so I know that people are going to come and go in your life. I mean, and I want to work with, I have this quick start coaching geared for young people. I want everyone, the societal champion training. It could go for Bank of America. It could go to LeBron James. It could go to the big Donald Trump. It could go to the biggest people, Elon, it could go to the biggest people in society. Because I think there's an advancement in our psychology that everybody can use, regardless of their level. And for young people, or everyday people, I have this quick start, $199 coaching. If you're really hung up, I can even negotiate with people because I want people to start to develop their character. That's what society needs. It doesn't need people who can follow the crowd. It needs people who are going to stand up and learn to take on great numbers of people appropriately. You can't do it angrily, okay? And this is another thing I work with people and teach people about. You can't do it with anger. You have to do it with appropriateness and vision and determination. And these things, if you're going to, develop character, it's going to take years. It's going to take days, months, years to do it. But see, once your character is formulated in some ways, you can go out in the world and take your stands when you need to, okay? You don't have to be afraid of the crowd. You don't have to be, and another key that I work with people, as I say, is to help people, speak appropriately, not angrily, not passively, but how do you put yourself out there assertively? And so the development of character is such a benefit in your life, and it's going to be an enduring thing. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not like something that's going to, a lot of other things can come and go, even money, even if you're making millions of dollars, women, chess streamers, making maybe $10 million, that's going to come and go. It could come and go. I'm not saying it will, it could. And what are you going to be left with then? What are the lessons? What do maybe you fell into a niche, maybe, you're highly creative, you've done great things, you brought things out, but, are you developing yourself, your heart, your character? And that's what, that's the real lessons in life. What are the things you're going to endure for you for decades and for most of your lifetime? That's what we need right now, because there's really a weird psychology. There's a crazy psychology these days. I even call it a pernicious psychology. And that's when I say world's genius, part of what I'm discussing is that I've developed an understanding of this psychology, not only in terms of where it is, not only in terms of its roots, and I've discovered that, and I've formulated the remedies, okay? Through purpose and goodness and a lot of things, that I've put together. I formulated remedies, and nobody's done it because I can say I offer the world's genius, whether it's me, the psychology, a mix, it's not my ego. What I'm offering is what good people, which I firmly still believe are most of us, need this psychology and need to develop your character. So go to your website or send me a message, whatever it be, get in touch. And and the key issue is that I want people to formulate this notion of being able to stand on their own, not follow trends, especially not in these days. Stand on your own, develop your own perspective, develop your own voice, develop your purpose, your character in life, so you're going in the right direction. And there's a lot of ways we can be of service, so please consider.